Hello my friends and welcome back to another episode of Chess with Konstantin. I am a very proud coach today. What you're looking at is a game from one of my students. And in this position, my student was playing white and his opponent was playing black, and his opponent offered a draw in this position with white to move. And I was so proud when he instantly declined this draw offer. Because even though in endgames queen versus queen is usually a draw, in this position, which everybody should know, this position is in fact an exception. And so see if you can pause the video, give yourself a couple minutes and see if you can come up with a winning plan for white in this position and the point of why this is actually a win for white and not a draw. Go ahead. So welcome back. If you found it, great job. If you're curious, the point of the position here is that after white plays a5 and we have h3, h6, h2, a7 and h8 queen, followed by a8 queen with check. Black will here play one of two moves. Obviously, it's impossible to play. It's impossible to leave the queen because the queen will be captured. So black can only play king to g1 or king to h2 here. So in the game, black played king to h2. And now, of course, you don't want to take the queen because that's a draw. But my student here immediately played queen to h8 with check. And the point of this is that now this king is paralyzed. So the king will always be vulnerable to checks, but can never leave the defense of the black's queen, because then the black's queen will be captured, and obviously it's an easy mate. So now white's queen can kind of stair step and get closer to the action. So with perfect play, the king will actually come to g2 here. Then we have queen g7 check, and actually the longer lasting play will move the king to h3, but it really doesn't matter where black runs. And so white just stair steps closer. Obviously queen g4 results in the queen being captured, so the king has to go back, then just check, check, and now we will get this position where the queen is on g4 and the black's king is in check. So obviously in this position black has to move back to h2, and now the key move is king to f2. So in this position, ladies and gentlemen, now we have what's called a Zugzwang, which means it's a German concept. It means black has to move, a move is forced, but no move is good. So notice that even though black has this entire diagonal available, none of these squares can safely provide a check to the white's king, and the keyword being safely. So of course the queen can sacrifice itself on f1 or e1, but those are not serious continuations, because simply you will be down a queen. And no matter where the queen moves, for example if queen moves to d5, then we have just mate in 2, and there is or actually even a mate in 1 with queen to h4 in this instance. But there is no escape, and obviously the king has no squares. So the point of that endgame is to reach this position, and after king to f2, the best move the computer suggests is just to give up the queen here on e1. Otherwise, no matter where the queen will move, it will be a checkmate. So for example queen to c1, just mate any of these mates. Actually knowing this, my student's opponent, after this check, decided to be tricky and played the move king to g1 instead. So see if you can pause the video and find the correct to play, the way to play as white after black runs to g1 here with the king. So welcome back. If you considered this and found the move queen to g7, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but this move leads to a draw on account of simply queen to g2 with check, forcing the trade of the queens. So actually you have to be a little bit careful. This stair-stepping maneuver works if the king runs to the h file, but if the king goes back to g1, you don't want to give the check on this g file, and instead you want to play important move queen to d4 check, giving the check on this diagonal. Now again, it simply doesn't matter where we run. If the king goes to g2, then we simply have queen to g4 right away, and we have the same position as what we covered earlier, where the king has to run back to h2, and then we have the simple move king to f2 again. And if the king now runs to h2, then we simply will give the check once more, and in the game actually we saw what happens after king to g2, but in the game we actually saw king to g1, and simply it ran into a checkmate on f2. So I hope you've enjoyed this very instructive endgame, which in my opinion everybody should know. And in this position, with white to move, actually it is white that is winning here after the move h3 and a6. But it's important to understand why. So I hope you enjoyed this instructive endgame. I will see you next time for more quality chess content. Have a wonderful week, and Konstantin out.